Let's have one thing straight. There are two types of people, those who like bees and those who can't stand them. I am on the bee side on this one. I mean, why else do you think I'd make this video? Bees are fascinating creatures. They come in all sizes and forms. Even the normal bee size might be small to you, but there are bees that aren't even visible to the naked eye. Perdita minima is the interesting one. For survival purposes, these bees have cheated evolution. Not in the Darkseid-way-of-cheating, but in a more natural way. Welcome to Top Feed. Hit that subscribe and like button now, and let's have a look at the wonders of evolution and why size matters. Pun intended. One thing is for sure, life on Earth used to look a lot more impressive. Just imagine, giant sloths as long as a giraffe, monstrous bears whose shoulders were 6 feet off the ground, and bunny-esque beavers that weighed as much as an NFL linebacker. This was all a reality just some 100,000 years ago, but over time, all of these creatures disappeared in a manner so rapid and so mysterious that scientists still can't fully explain what went down. Did an asteroid discharge the megabeast similar to the one thought to have snuffed out the dinosaurs? Or was it widespread climatic change? Or a plague of new diseases? Did our penchant for hunting play a role? Well, it was probably a combination of all those things, but in this video, we'll focus on climate change and bees. How can we forget the bees? Global temperature and the amount of land available as an animal's range are two ecological factors that appear to correlate with the evolution of maximum body size. According to ecology principles, warm-blooded animals grow bigger in cooler climates and smaller in warmer ones. But that isn't the only reason animals went from being as big as metro houses to being teeny tiny now. Humans have a part in the extinction of giant animals, but that's a whole topic for another video. As we said, warmer climates result in the shrinkage of sizes in warm-blooded animals. But bees aren't warm-blooded, so why are Perdita minima so small, scientists have to follow their shadow to capture and study them? Well, this is when evolution comes into play. Don't feel dumb, we'll explain it in layman's terms. Much as all members of its genus, the Perdita minima, as the name implies, has a tiny body. In fact, it's the smallest bee in the world. Yet even among its own genus, this truly astonishing insect ranks as incredibly tiny. Adults of this age average slightly less than 2 millimeters in total body length. Yes, what you're seeing right in front of you inside a baby bee, it's a fully grown bee. Compared to normal bees, which are around 12 to 15 millimeters long, Perdita minima are barely visible. Even the sting of a normal-sized bee is 2 millimeters. It may be small, but the Perdita minima is an actual bee. It has bee legs, wings, fur, and even a stinger, but I'm not really sure if it can be used. Its natural coloring typically presents viewers with dazzling hues, at least when they actually manage to spot it. This color pattern primarily consists of shades of bright yellow. However, some individuals also display streaks of gold or even white. A funny thing about this bee is that it's so small, scientists have basically studied them. Not kidding. Check out its Wikipedia page. There's just a single line written there. Just to find it, you have to follow its shadow, and even then, the probability of finding it is extremely low. However, the size of the bee has helped it cheat death. Literally. We mentioned humans are one of the reasons giant animals went extinct. That's because they hunted animals for food and other things. Perdita minima is just so small it can not only escape through nests made of net, not even other predatory insects can catch them. Even a spider web. How convenient. Not only that, the little insects don't need much food for survival either. A fallen flower might be a weak supply of food. This is where it gets interesting, because millions of years of extinction and survival studies have shown us the advantages and disadvantages of being big and small. Let's start with large animals. While humans hunted nearly most of the large animals to extinction, there's still more chance of survival than small animals. Large animals can go further in search of food. They can eat and store more resources, it's harder to hunt, and larger animals can survive in extreme weather. The disadvantage of being large is that more food and water consumption is needed and harder to hide when being hunted. And how can we forget mass extinction incidents? It's much easier for larger animals to go extinct than smaller animals, and the smaller the species, faster and easier for it to reproduce. Insects aren't even the smallest things in the world. Bacteria are the smallest living creatures. However, physics takes the size game to a whole new level. Some centuries ago, grains of sand was considered the smallest particle, and then came physicists. They discovered particles like atoms, electrons, and protons, which are some 200 billion times smaller than a grain of sand. And you thought the Perdita minima bee was small. Recently, I watched The Ant-Man, and I started thinking, what would happen if humans just, shrunk? Not to the size of an atom, but let's just say an ant. It is well known that ants are exceptionally strong and fast, although estimates vary. The average ant can carry between 10 to 50 times its own body weight and run at approximately 300 meters an hour, a rate of nearly 800 times its body length a minute. So, if we were that size, that would mean an average Western man would be able to carry between 850 to 4,500 kilograms, 4.5 tons, over his head and run at a speed of 52 miles an hour. Wouldn't that be amazing? No human would ever die from jumping a building either. One more thing. A small-sized human wouldn't be able to communicate with a normal-sized human because of the difference in frequencies. If ants can do it, why can't we? Well, a human-sized ant wouldn't be able to travel at 50 miles an hour. In fact, it wouldn't be able to run at all. Its legs would crumble under the weight of its own body. In fact, the human-sized ant would have been dead long before it tried to run because of the supply of oxygen to its organs wouldn't have been sufficient enough to keep it alive, even for a second. But we all know humans do grow and change throughout their lives. Take small kids, for example. Young boys grow exceptionally, even faster than girls of the same age. So next time your aunt says, "You've grown so much," just blame it on evolution. But what about shrinking? You must have seen old people getting smaller. That's not just a myth, but truth. Older adults can get shorter because of the cartilage between their joints gets worn out, and the spinal column becomes shorter. Adults can also lose lean muscle but gain fat. This is a condition called sarcopenia. So you don't have to grow old to shrink though. Your height changes during the day too. If you check your height right after waking up, and then again after about 3 hours, you will realize that you were taller before, about an inch taller. That's because the discs in your back aren't compressed while laying down, which makes you taller. So next time you want to impress your crush, meet them right after they wake up. Resizing isn't just limited to humans either. Planets shrink too. Scientists have observed that Mercury, the closest planet to the Sun, has shrunk around 2 miles over the course of its existence. Wait, if planets are shrinking, does that mean the universe is too? Well, not literally. The universe is ever expanding, according to scientists, but it's believed that one scenario that one day, everything in the universe, including stars, planets, nebulas, black holes, and other stuff like Nicolas Cage and his action figures, will start moving to the center of the universe, and a giant collision will end everything in this universe. Just like that, everything will cease to exist. Nicolas Cage and his action figures might survive, but yeah, everything else. Scary thought? Well, that's just life for you. And that's all for today. What would you do if you could shrink to the size of an ant? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, if you enjoyed this, please click the like and share buttons. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss more amazing content from Top Feed. See you!